everyone and welcome back to Coastercouple. Today we're going to be looking at scenery and we're going to be looking a little bit more about theming your areas and about extras you can add to your rides and everything like that to make them a little bit better. Okay, so obviously this is the park that we have been creating together. Like I say, it's not the best. It's not what it's going to turn out to be in the end, but we're just going to roll with it. So I am going to start by creating a little themed area. I'm going to start creating the themed area over here in the corner, just here. So what we haven't covered yet is trees. Obviously these are beautiful trees. I don't want to delete them because I want to put them somewhere else. So I am literally just going to move them to the side for now. There's quite a lot to move. I didn't think this one through. You can stack them up on each other as well, so you can actually put them on like top of things. I mean, I don't really know why you'd want to add that to the top of there, but I mean, yeah, whatever. We'll just add it to there. Let's move the tree over here. We need a little bit of room. I'm not sure exactly how much we're going to be putting on this area bit at the moment, but I am just going to demolish these ones for now, just because it makes it a little bit easier. And there's obviously like the wooden pathway there as well. There we go. You can add more trees in as well. I will show you how to do that. So here is your boundary line. So this basically means you cannot build past this boundary line just here. You have got quite a lot of park to build in though. So your boundary line's all the way out here, just here. So there is actually a huge amount of space to work with. So very grateful how much they've given us to work with. Okay. So I'm just going to clean up this little area here. Just so we've really got enough room to be able to do everything. Perfect. There we go. And I am going to start by building a themed land. So I've cleaned up the area, and what we're going to do is we're going to start off by looking at the terrain today. So your terrain is basically your ground just here. So you've got pull, push, flatten to foundation, flatten to surface, chisel, smooth and roughen. I am going to do it over here because it took me ages last time to get it back to foundation. So you can do your intensity. So if you put it 100% and you pull, obviously you're going to make a big mound, whoop, like that. If you do a push at 100%, you're going to make a big hole. Hello, hello, hello. Obviously that's giving like, I don't know, like a statue vibe. Yeah, I'm not really sure. You can do your flattened foundation, which is obviously going to just flatten it back up for you, just here. Like that. Obviously if you go too far then it will bring it back up, but that is bringing it back up to flattened foundation for you. You can tell if you go like here, you can see it's then level, starting to get level again. That is actually just growing that, but yeah, so you can have some real fun with the ground as well. And you can then sort of make your mounds and you can chisel. Obviously your chisel is what you're going to want to be doing if you've got something up already like this, so you can really shape into it. You can smooth it as well to make the rock like that, make it all a rounded shape, and you can roughen it as well. So there is quite a lot that you could do. So you, for example, see if I did a push, I could push it down like that. I could then pull it up like that, and I could just flatten it again. So, but it's really cool because obviously you can make like rock formations and you can make hills and everything like that. So it does just look really, really cool how you can do it. Next on this tab here, you've got your painting, which is basically what it says. It's where you can just paint what you want. So you can paint dirt, you can paint soil, you can paint, what's that, dry dirt, you can paint mud, you can paint gravel, which again, obviously, when you've got your different areas of the park, you might want to have something a little bit different and have like a little rock area or something, and you can just really play about with that. So this is your water. So for your water, you're going to want to push to the ground, make like a little dip, and you're going to want to add your water, like so. So that is clear water. You've got your rough water, and you've got your natural water. Obviously, if you want to make like a little well or something like that, or like a little river in the middle of the park, it's just quite nice, isn't it? And when you zoom out, you can still see it. I personally really enjoy it. But yeah, and you can make like a rock around it here. You can make like a little rock pool. You could just, there's so many possibilities that you could really do with the terrain button. yeah, it's quite easy to use once you get the hang of it. Obviously, when you first start, if you accidentally do the terrain and you're like, oh my god, like that, the best way to do it is I flick down to be on level with it, like this, so I can see, okay, that isn't flat. I am going to flatten it to foundation. And again, that just really shows me when it's level and when it's equal. But yeah, definitely have a play around with that because that's really fun. While we're on the surface here playing around with the terrain, we're also going to look at the scenery. So your scenery just here, you can break it down. You've got your rocks, you've got your small rocks, your trees, your autumnal trees, your forest trees, small plants. You got your rocks. To add them, you just tap. Simple as that. Just literally tap the screen. Tap. Oh my goodness, jump scare. Tap the screen wherever you want them to go. Ba ba ba. See, easy as that. And you can make a forest. Look, we've got a little forest going on here. Once you've got your trees, you can also click on them like that. It will highlight them up blue, and you can just press duplicate, and you can just add them to your heart's content with the duplicate button. So it's very easy to add trees, and again, there's a tree in your way, click on it and just move it. They're so easy to do, they're so easy to move. You can stack them. I mean, look at that. You could literally just have a mountain of trees if you really, if that's what you're going for, like, you know, like a scenic piece of your park. Tree mountain, there you go, perfect. But yeah, there's so much you can do with the scenery, especially when you've got your rides in as well and you've got your areas. You can really play around with that to make the park look how you want to play with it. Okay, so we're going to start off with our themed land, and we're going to build it like I just said over here where we cleared. Let's start with aquatic, I'm thinking. So I'm going to start off by placing some aquatic rides. So again, like I said, you can literally just filter it here. So let's start off by placing a flat ride, the Tiny Eye. And again, we're just going to want to make sure we're putting it in the boundary. I'm putting it in right. There we go. Perfect. So we want to place our entrance to our path. So that is the entrance that side. That's very strange to have an entrance that side, but we'll roll with it. So I'm not going to build a massive queue line. Just enough. There, perfect. And I'm going to flick to my normal queue. Because it's a different area, I want to establish that it's a little area, and I'm going to change the path, and I'm going to make it a brick path, and I'm going to add rails on as well. So I'm going to add the stamp tool because I want to make it nice and flush and flat. Obviously, no, it's a bit of a pain because I've got my camper van, people are arriving here, but I'm just going to... Why can't I build there? What's the matter? Why can't I build there but not there? That's very strange. So we're just going to cut it off there as like a little circle. I'm just going to move the coach. I am going to turn the coach slightly as well. There you go. So obviously I have made it like a quite secluded area, but again, we will branch out a little bit. But obviously it's just a pathway to allow people to get into it for now. Yeah, so obviously we need our exit as well. I'm just going to free build the exit because I'm just going to literally put it connected into that one. So we've got an exit and we've got our entrance just there. And then we are just going to test it. Just to make sure it's all okay. Obviously it is open, but people in the park can't get to it. That's why I've kind of done it here, because I don't want people being able to get on it until my whole land is finished. So on the scenery button here is where you get all your little bits and bobs. So you can filter it again by what you're doing. So like I said, we are doing an aquatic theme. So on here you've got like your little bits. So you've got a reef just here, which might look quite nice. And you can change the scale of it as well. So obviously that looks quite big next to the ride. So I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. And I just think that looks really nice actually just there. And again, we've got like little bits and bobs we can use. So we've got a submarine. So it's quite fun. There is loads of little bits you can use, like rocks and everything like that. Jellyfish. So you can just literally make it however you want it to be really. Yeah. So I'm just going to pause that for a second, and we're going to go on to scenery again. And if you click on to create custom, this is where it gets very exciting because you can add bits and bobs to your rides. So like I said, obviously it is as an aquatic theme, so it's set to aquatic, and literally you can add whatever you want from here. You can add it on the ride, like so. You can add it outside the ride, like this. You can literally do whatever you want. It's so customizable, and it just gives you the ability to really like just take your lands to that extra level. Yeah, there's just so much you can really do with it. I mean, if you want a massive jellyfish, you can have a massive jellyfish. That would be so cute as a little parasol. We'll come back for that. And like I said, literally just add whatever you want. You can add it in. You can add it into the queue line. So if you want your queue line to be a bit more, or you want your pathway or anything like that, you can literally. There's so much you can do with it, and I think it just really takes your sort of park to the next level by being able to do that as well. Okay, and obviously from earlier we were looking at the terrain. So what would be quite nice to add here, I'm thinking, is a little bit of that water feature. So again, back onto your terrain, and we're just going to do push, like so. Push, 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 push. Obviously you don't want to go too close because you don't want people just like falling off the edge. Push, push, like that. Water. We'll just go for clear water because that looks quite nice. There you go. So you can have like a little like feature pond by your rides, and then obviously you can add scenery around that. So I'm going to go back onto aquatic. Obviously you don't have to filter it by, you can just use whatever you want, but obviously if you're doing a specific ride, then I don't know if that's going to be too weird in the water. Oh, that's a little bit creepy, isn't it, actually? Yeah, maybe don't do that in the water. It's a bit creepy. But yeah, literally, so you can add stuff around it. So I might add some like corals and stuff like that into the water, just to make it a little bit more themed again. There's literally so much you can do, just to make it look really nice. There you go. So I've just added it as like a little like coral pond. Yeah. I might put a jellyfish. Is that my jellyfish? My jellyfish is huge, isn't it? The more theme, the better as well. Obviously, people tend to enjoy the park a lot more if it is more themed. So it's definitely worth, when you get the hang of it, adding bits and bobs into your park. Let's add some fish on spikes. There we go. Looking pretty cute. So next up, I'm going to see what else we've got. I'm going to go onto the facilities and have a look here. So if there's nothing on the facilities that suits your need for the thing you're doing, you can go on to create custom. And you want to take aquatic out of there, and you can literally just create your own. So for example, I want a burger joint. Let's turn my burger joint round. It's looking pretty basic. Obviously, you know, it's your bog standard, your basic burger joint really. My scenery here, I've typed in aquatic, and literally you can customize it to be however you want. So for example, I want to put a yellow front on it. Boom, I've got a yellow front. I want that to be yellow. Boom, I've got it yellow. There's literally so much you can do with it. So if I obviously come to the side of it just here and I go back onto my scenery, I can then add stuff onto the panel. So I've got bevel wall 4 meter half width. Is that the height of that? No. Let's just turn this one round. And I'm literally just going to square it up like that. And I'm going to dot it on there and there. Perfect. So I've got my own little yellow building. And then again, I'm going to do the same to this side. I'm going to turn it round. Is that not going on? Perfect. I know it's not like the perfect join, but it's just quickly to show you guys how you can literally customize your own. So obviously now it's yellow, and then I can kind of have a look and say, what do I want that will take it that extra level to make it more of a submarine vibe. So I'm going to add these little aquatic lights right here. I'm going to add some coral around the front of it like this. Perfect. Obviously, you know, you might want to add some stuff on the top, so you could add some like coral and everything on the top of it. Yeah, there's just literally, it's just endless the amount you can actually do. So now we've got a little building just there. So I'm just going to add another path, and then I'm going to go back to my main line to add it on here so it adds it properly. There we go. So I've got my own little shop here, and again I've got a little gap here which might look quite nice to add some scenery in. Okay, we've got a little submarine. I found a little submarine, so let's just put that in there. Perfect. Again, so you can really see how the area is really starting to come together, and how easy it is just to add bits that kind of make it look like that as well. And obviously at the back, like I said, you can add your trees back over. So you don't have to delete your trees. You can literally just reuse them if you need to. Obviously you can add them back in really easy as well, just by duplicating them, or you can add them with the brush tool just there, and you can move them from all the way over here. You can literally just move them over. There we go, perfect. And obviously there's a little gap there if you want to add anything on the scenery. So if I go on create custom and I go on my aquatic, I can just add whatever I want onto here. What am I thinking? So the rocks obviously look really nice, and that really matches in with the aquatic theme. So let's just add a few of them. There we go, perfect. And on my rocks, I'm going to add some plants or some coral or something like that, whatever I find. There we go, amazing. I'm going to add this, and I'm going to add one of those. Perfect. So you guys can see how like effective it looks when it really comes together like that. It's amazing just like a little bit of theming actually does to it. Okay, so obviously we're going to go back onto our scenery as well and make sure we're adding bins, because that's one thing I keep forgetting to add everywhere, but I'm just going to make sure we have got enough bins, because that will really help the park. And then obviously we want our benches as well, and the nice thing is there's actually benches themed for the area, so I've got aquatic benches just here, and they're just really nice. I'm just going to add these ones in for now, and then I should hopefully be able to build a little picnic area, so that'd be quite nice in my park. Perfect, there we go. So I'm going to just leave that little bit as it is for now, and I'm going to show you guys how to do priority pass tickets and also for the rides. So let's do it on our new ride just here. So this is our new ride just here that we've got, and obviously it has its entrance just here and it has its exit there. So to add your priority one, you're going to want to click onto finances and you're going to want to enable the priority pass. Straight away it will come up and it will say place entrance. As you can see, there's nowhere for it to go that is accessible. So we're just going to click like that. That is our park entrance for priority queue, which is fine, you know, we know it's there. So what you need to do is you need to click off of this and you need to click onto the ride. You can click onto these bushes individually, and you're going to want to delete, delete, delete. So you're basically going to want to delete anything that is in the way for your priority pass. So you want to make sure it's all open, you can swing it around, you can see. And it is literally just as simple as that when it comes to adding a priority one. Again, you want to add your queue. I don't want to add too much of a queue because obviously I'm not expecting too many people to have the fast track. And then, oh no. Obviously you want to make sure you flick it back to the path. So I've just added the wrong one. There you go, literally. It's easy as that. So now my ride has got a priority pass queue. I'll show you, so that's the priority, that's the main entrance. And if we go back over, oh my goodness, we're in the river. We are in the river. We are in the river. If we go back over to our entrance, we can see here now edit ticket prices. So obviously now we've got our priority pass and it's $10, which is obviously the same as the adult entry. So we're just going to want to do a custom. I'm going to make it 15 just to be on the safe side. And then obviously we can track it here now how many we've sold. Obviously we've only just literally started it, so we don't expect to load to be selling as soon as we unpause the game, but you can break it down as well. So we haven't done too bad with the pool passes, considering we only have one pool, one flume as well. But obviously it's really helpful to be able to track it and see where you're at in terms of it. And obviously down here you can see your park rating as well. So on your park rating, it basically walks it down to your attractions, your scenery, your unique attractions, and your park reputation. So with your unique ones, it's basically how many different types you have. So you could have 15 coasters. Those coasters could all be different ones, which would be your unique ones. If you had 15 coasters and they're all, you know, the same thing, that would mean that they're not unique ones. It's quite self-explanatory, that one. It's just to make sure that you've got a range of things for people to enjoy and different levels of thrill that people enjoy within the park. This is my park reputation, so this is how happy people are. So they seem pretty happy with the park, actually. Obviously just unique attractions need to improve, but we know that because we haven't got many attractions in the park at the moment. Scenery rating's doing pretty good as well. Obviously we're adding more on that. We are working on that, and attraction prestige. So that is adding more prestigious rides to help attract and impress guests. So again, that will just something you build up over time. So if we go back to the park just here. So if you click back on this, this is where you can break it down. So this will break it down like we've literally just gone through this on the other page. And you can see your park ratings. We've been through that. Your guests. So this is your overall mood for your guests. 4.6, which obviously isn't bad. 4.5. And then it's your demographics. 36% adults, 39% teens, 25% families. Obviously these will vary depending on what rides you've got in your park. So, you know, the more kids rides you get, the more families you're going to get, the more thrill rides you're going to get adults. It's quite self-explanatory for that one. And again, this is, I don't know why they're so panicky. Why are they so panicky? But this is your guest needs overall. And these are the positive thoughts. So obviously I've said I want to go on Principe. This place is great scenery. I've arrived. I want to go on Teacups 1. And then you've got the ones here, so expensive, litter's disgusting, litter, so obviously there is a problem with the litter that we need to look at. No rides match my tolerances, so again, maybe thinking about those ones. And River Ride is so expensive, so just taking into that. This is your advertising page. And on your advertising page, it's basically what it says on the tin. It's how you advertise to get people to come into your park. So, there'll be requirements that must match up with these. So, this is for the flat ride fans, must be a flat ride. Which obviously makes sense. Coaster lovers, you need to have 2 rides that are coasters. We've only got 1 at the moment. Water slides enthusiasts, must be a flume. So you've got 2 flumes, and obviously you can then do that. So you can create your advertisement. This will be a cost per hour, times 100% awareness. So obviously we have unlimited money on the game, so we can just do whatever we want. But obviously, depending on how much money you got, just how much we've got. So let's just do that. Perfect. So that will tell us how many extra guests we've got, returning guests, and if the park rating goes up as well. So it's always good to do that when you get the money, unless you're playing it on Sandbox, obviously. So your attractions and shops, this is basically a breakdown of everything you've got. So these are the rides that we've got here, and we can actually name the stuff here as well. So say we want to rename our ride the Congo River Rapids, because that's iconic. And this is the prestige of it. This is our daily income. This is how much it costs and the status of it. So obviously this one is actually just testing. And this is the condition, so we can see actually they're not bad condition, because obviously we haven't had the park open a lot while we've been doing stuff. Breaking it down by the pools, so these is what they are at the moment. This is the daily income and the price that's been set. Obviously this one's the one that's closed because that's the one over the back. The shops, again, we can see what's happening with the shops, how much they make us today. So not too bad actually on the guest services. Faculties, so this is the toilet. I don't know why the toilets are creating money for us. Whatever. Obviously the staff building and everything like that. And then you've got utilities as well, which obviously we won't be worrying about just yet, but we will be down the line when we turn that on. Then you've got your staff just here. Breaking it down by the staff, you can see who they are, what they do. So we've got your entertainers, your janitors, your lifeguards, mechanics. We haven't got any mechanics yet, we wanted to look into that. And your ride attendants and your vendors. You can see how much they're paid as well. You can change their pay as well, obviously, so it can go low, high, or fair. I tend to keep everyone on a fair pay, and everyone seems content at the moment. You can see if they've had a break or if it's scheduled. This should say scheduled if they work over a certain amount of hours, or that they've had a break. And then their status here. So the ones that are looking for work, obviously, you've got janitors, that's fine, looking for work. You might have too many lifeguards if you've got some of the lifeguards doing that. And again here, they look like might have too much, waiting for customers to serve. They might not be busy in their thing, but as long as they all have stuff to do, that's absolutely fine. On your research here, obviously because I'm playing on this one, I don't have to research, but you might use your research on other games. This is basically how you do that, but we'll go into that in a later date. And this is the finances as well. So this is the park value, the park cash, profit breakdown, the constructions costs. So obviously we're not doing great at the moment. I mean, not too bad, but obviously we're a brand new park, so I'd expect it to be this low. But as we go through, hopefully we can get a bit better. Okay, so that's all we are going to be covering in today's video. So we've gone through the terrain, we've gone through the trees, we've gone through scenery, we've gone through custom scenery, we've gone through making the start of a little land, we've gone through the water, we've opened up a few more rides, we've gone through priority entrance, and we've gone through how to set that. We've also gone through the menu, about staff, and we've gone through about guests. Okay, so thank you so much guys for joining, and next time we will be covering more of our custom little aquatic land. I'm going to be showing you how to make little areas, like I'm going to add like a little picnic area, and we're basically just going to be expanding our skills and working on creating more custom lands to bring more people into our park. Okay, thank you so much for joining me.